there, it's Mary Sheila, and I am going to make a delicious spring salad with a homemade citrus tahini dressing, which is delicious. And I just have to say that making dressings that are from your own home and from your own kitchen is an excellent way to go, especially if you're combating any kind of inflammation, because the kind of oils that are in salad dressing today in the stores, most often, they're not really that good. They're cheap and they're very highly processed so that they have a long shelf life. And so they don't have the benefits, and healing fats and oils really do. So it's a really warm day where I am here in Northern California. And I thought I would make a salad, and last night was the kickoff for our first farmers market, our Occidental Farmers Market, which is a wonderful market that we've had for years. And last night was the kickoff, and so a couple of the things that I have are from my farmers market, and then some of them I've just had in the fridge. I'm going to make a nice hydrating lunch. It's hot, so the more the veggies, the carbohydrates I can get in, the more hydrating that is to my tissues to sort of meet the heat of the day. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I better get busy so I'm not on here all day, is I've got some cabbage, and this is a beautiful white cabbage, or light green cabbage, whatever you want to call it. And I love having these on hand. First of all, they really they last a while. I know we should eat our food as fresh as can be, but and they're usually big, and so we can have, and a bug just crawled out of it. That's a good sign. Kind of a good sign, right? Some of you guys might be like, that is not a good sign, but it's a good sign because it's an organic cabbage. And so, it hasn't been sprayed with anything, and there's no herbicides and pesticides. And we also know, one of the things about cabbage in this family is it's very specific to detoxifying the liver. And that being said, it's very specific to detoxifying hormones, like estrogens especially. And this is actually important for both men and women because estrogen in the environment is, we call them xenoestrogens, and they come from plastics and anything petroleum-based. And so it can actually be really damaging to the body and act as a aggressive estrogen in the body. And that's not good because we have so many hormonal cancers. So this family, the cabbage family, which another name for the cabbage family is cruciferous, is it has something in it. It's called IC3 or I3C for short, but it turns into something called DIM that actually can help us to break down help the liver to break down estrogen. So cabbage is awesome. So I've got my cabbage in here, and you all know, if you've been watching me, that I'm in love with jicamas. And I've got a great organic source I've been getting with the market. And, if you're having a hard time finding organic jicama at your local market, ask the produce, ask the managers at the market and say, hey, I'd really love some. And if they're like, we wouldn't sell it, blah, 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 well, then get some friends together and get some. Try to find a way. So the last time I went in, I bought two because, I just wanted to make sure that I had it on hand for a little while. What I've been loving to do with the jicama, I just have to say, is I've been slicing them, and I'll just show you like this. And, if you're going lower carb and you're not eating a lot of bread, and then I'll put stuff on here. I'll put a nut butter. Oh, so delicious. Or sometimes I'll put a little avocado and some seeds and maybe some goat cheese and some pickles. And it's just a delicious, delicious snack. So I guess I'll have that a little later. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take my jicama. I already went to the trouble to peel it a little bit, and I just took the knife and I just peeled it with my knife, or I cut it with my knife, I should say. I don't eat the skins, and I don't know. There probably are people that do, but I do not. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grate my jicama. So you could use any kind of grater that you have, but I'm using just this box grater because I figure that's what most people have. And jicama is so hydrating, and jicama is a prebiotic, so it's a great food for the gut microbiome. So it's always a good thing when we're feeding them. And you know, usually when we're eating plant foods, we are feeding our microbiome. So I'm just gonna grate this, and it's gonna get nice and kind of juicy. It's really wet, and that's gonna be a great addition in my salad. It's gonna be kind of a nice contrast. You know, cabbage is a little bit more drying, and then the jicama is a little bit more hydrating. And I'm gonna stop there because I do not want to cut my fingers. I hate it when that happens. I'm sure you do too. And there's my jicama. I'm just gonna put it in there. And I do sometimes, and you probably see me do this, I kind of like to get a little something on there right away so it doesn't start turning brown. And it soaks up that nice citrus flavor. So I'm just putting a little lemon or lime juice in there. Okay. So the other thing that I bought at the farmer's market last night, which was exciting, to buy a nice local, beautiful little fennel. And so I'm going to take my fennel, and I'm going to just actually use half of it because fennel has a nice flavor, and it's a little on the strong side, so I don't need to totally overpower things. And I can have a little more tomorrow. So you see here, if you can see that, there's the stem, and that's very fibrous. And sure, I could eat that if I roasted it, but or put it in a soup stock or something. But raw, yeah, I am going to not eat it raw. And then when I'm going to come in, I'm just going to come in, and as thin as I can, I'm going to slice my fennel. So I have some nice thin slices for my salad. And I'm just going to, oops. And once I get the thin slices, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing, I might even come back around and thin them again, slice them again, just nice and thin. And fennel is very digestive. So you often see, people will often have fennel seeds. Like in India, they'll have fennel seeds at the end of a meal to stimulate digestion. So when we include fennel, because it has so much flavor and kind of a sweetness, it is very, it helps us, it helps our juices to get going when we're digesting. So that's a really good thing. We want that to happen. And fennel, so it's a great digestive aid, and it's very cooling. So, you know, if you're hot in the summertime, fennel is totally there to cool you down. If you are thinking, well, I don't really run hot, but man, my partner is always super hot or red-faced or whatever, then fennel is a great ally to kind of cooling the temperature down in the body. And I just love fennel. I love roasting it, right? There's lots of things you can do with fennel to make it so delicious. So I've got my fennel, and, you know, I could go as thin as I want. You know, sometimes you can even use like a mandolin. I didn't want to pull out all the fancy toys today because sometimes I like to just show you what I have in my kitchen and what you probably have in your kitchen. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to say too is you can definitely use any of these beautiful little fronds from the fennel and add them into your salad. So you could just break them up into little pieces and just sprinkle them throughout the salad. You can top the salad with that. Ooh, I'm getting some ideas. I'm just thinking, and maybe I should execute it, but I'm just thinking probably actually what would be good is to put some in the salad dressing that I'm going to make. So I'm going to take some of the fronds, and here's a nice group of them, and I'm just going to chop them up real quick. And I'm going to make salad dressing in a minute, so I'm just going to throw them in here because why not throw the greens in there to make a nice fennel-infused citrus tahini salad dressing. Doesn't that sound so good? Okay, so there I have that. I pulled out a little cucumber from the fridge, so I'm going to throw some cucumber in there too because cucumber is really nice and cooling, and I'm going to chunk it up. And I always want to think about making things, cutting things up into nice bite-sized pieces that feel good in the mouth, like a good mouthfeel. You know, you don't want to be chunking these humongous chunks of stuff because, I don't know. Sometimes you might see a salad and you're like, wow, how am I supposed to put that in my mouth? And I remember I had a friend once when I was eating, and he told me that I should take human bites. So it's good to try to take bites that, you know, fit in your mouth nicely, that you can actually really chew well. All right. I also just found this little bit of radicchio in my fridge. So I was going to use this as well. And the radicchio is kind of fun. It's a really wonderful like cup. So if you really aren't eating a lot of carbs, this is your container right here. So I might save a couple of these guys that are just such nice shape and maybe put something else in them later, but I don't know what yet. And then some of them I'm going to just add to my salad, and this is going to add a nice bitterness. Radicchio is nice and bitter, but it's also going to add some beautiful color, right? And one of the things we know about the color is it's really pleasing to the eye, but it's also really, there's benefits of every color of the rainbow. So, you know, eating your rainbow is not just a cool thing to say, it's actually really helpful. So there we go, I've got the radicchio, you can see it on top, it's super pretty. Okay, I'm gonna make the salad dressing now because that's the exciting part. So I've got the beginning going where I've got the fennel greens. And so I'm gonna actually do a little measuring. I'm gonna try to be nice and kind. I'm gonna do a quarter of a cup of apple cider vinegar. And I'm gonna do a couple tablespoons of tahini. And tahini is sesame seed butter. So I'm gonna do, let's see, there's 1 tablespoon and 2 tablespoons. I think I'm gonna do 3 tablespoons. So a quarter cup of apple cider vinegar and 3 tablespoons. So, you know, I'm getting nice oils and fats from that, from the tahini, as well as I will put a little olive oil in there too. But before I get too far, what I'm gonna do is put a little citrus in here. So I've got a little bit of orange, and that's gonna add a sweetness. So if you always like to round out those flavors when you make a salad dressing, if you didn't have this, don't worry, but I do, so I'm gonna use it. So I'm gonna do a little citrus. I'm gonna do the juice of an orange. This is a very juicy one. Woo! And then I'm gonna do a little bit of the lemon. Nice juicy lemon. And again, if you don't have any citrus, don't worry about it. You can just do it with tahini and dressing. So then I'm gonna do some olive oil. So I don't actually need to do, so since I did a quarter of a cup, I actually pulled out the 3/4 cup, but I'm gonna actually just do, wait a minute. This is vinegar. You know what, I'm actually gonna grab, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna, since I did all that tahini, normally when I make a salad dressing, it's about a 1-to-3 or 1-to-4 ratio between your vinegar and your olive oil. And notice I said olive oil. It's good to use olive oil in your salad dressings. If you bought the store-bought, you'd probably be getting canola or soy or corn, and that's inflammatory. So I'm gonna do a 3-to-1 ratio, but I'm only doing 2 because my 3 tablespoons of tahini covered me for 1, okay? So now I'm gonna stir this up. I could also throw garlic in here, but for the sake of time, I am not going to. Now I have this delicious tahini citrus dressing. Tahini, apple cider vinegar, or any vinegar will do actually. I debated between apple cider and rice vinegar, but I went for this. Now whenever you want to taste these, a great way to taste them is to just grab a medium of your salad and pop it in there, and oh my God, it's so good. So as you can see, I've got my salad, I've got my dressing, and I made extra because that's my secret so that I can use it more than once. I'm gonna dress it up nice, and then I'm gonna toss it. And you know, even if I did this a little bit ahead of time, it's just gonna get nice and soft. You know how you like, kind of like to have a full slaw and it gets a little soft with the dressing? That's a great way to go. And I did forget to salt it. I'm gonna just add a little salt to my salad here now. And I'm probably gonna need to use more salad dressing. And I'm gonna share this salad, so it's kind of big. And there we go. Now that I have this beautiful salad, I also want to add some seeds because I love adding seeds to all of my salads. So I'm gonna add some seeds here. I love to soak and sprout and dehydrate my nuts and seeds because they're much more digestible, and it's a great way to go, and it makes them, you get more of the minerals from them, they taste better, they're easier for the body to digest, and they really taste good. So I have some sunflower seeds. I'm gonna go with those. And I'm just gonna use the rest of those. And then I also have some sesame seeds. I love the sesame seeds. These are toasted. And I'm gonna sprinkle those in. So, you know, probably about a 1/4 cup of each. And then, since I'm gonna share this salad, I am going to go ahead and put one in a bowl. Yum, hydrating salad, I'm so excited. So here's my salad. Now what I'm gonna do is I wanna put a couple more, I wanna put some walnuts, and you know, I just wanna make sure it's fair. So about a handful of walnuts and a little bit of avocado. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little avocado on top. And I can always squeeze just a little more citrus on there just to protect that avocado and also kind of bam, as Emerald Lagasse would say, and get that flavor going. So there's my beautiful, hydrating, delicious salad. I really just used what I had on hand, so I could have used a variety of other ingredients. Simple tahini dressing to make a nice creamy dressing. Usually when we have a coleslaw, we kind of think of that, at least I do. We always like the creaminess, so you can get the creaminess from the tahini. And then, you know, the rest of my salad dressing, which is what's really nice, is I can just throw this in here and put a lid on it, and now I have salad dressing if I want to make this salad or something else, or if I want to dip something into this, whatever I want to do, I've got a nice salad dressing, and I can use that up in the next couple days. All right. Oh, I know what else I had is, and you might have this too, but right now there's all these, and I'm totally spacing on the name. Somebody could put it in the comments, but these beautiful flowers, and they're kind of spicy and delicious. So, you know, why not please my eyes as much as my palate? And I've got it, you know, I could put the flower in there. I can also take the petals and break it apart and just place them around. And how beautiful is that? And I mean, edible flowers just take it to a whole nother level. And these are all blooming out there right now. And sorry, I can't remember the name, but you know, that's okay. Anyway, I hope you all make something inspiring from this and have a great day. Thanks.